For those who know what's right. For those wedded to the machines in their bedrooms, their studios, their best friend's garage or basement. For those who negotiate with the system every day to make time for the music that matters. For those who get in debt to fund the fight against the mundane. For those who stay true to their cause even in the face of income and fame through compromise. For those who feel the power of every beat. For those who keep their minds open. For those who encourage and support those pursuing their personal dream. For those who sacrifice relationships to make sure the music is heard. For those for which the music is a lifetime, not a pastime. This is Bass Agenda.
Right about now, you're listening to the sounds of forthcoming, aka Exzakt, on Bass Agenda.
How you doing? Welcome to Bass Agenda episode 238. Got some seriously great stuff for you this month. First up in part one, we've got a guest who was on the show about 7 or 8 years ago, who probably needs very little introduction, and that is the amazing Exzakt, what you might call top tier talent in the electro world, and has been for some time. What really got my attention this time round was when he dropped me a line to say he'd done an album that was very different to what people might expect. And he's not wrong, but for those of you who know his stuff already, you'll be familiar with the very high standard of quality, the time, the effort, the passion that goes into making his music. So we're going to be talking about his forthcoming new album called LoveHertz. We're going to hear all the tracks, some of the stories behind the tracks, talk about the creative process behind this one, and much more besides. 2, we've got a great guest mix from DJ Tygre from San Francisco. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. First up, we're going to hear a couple of tracks from Exzakt's new album and then get into the interview.
Listen to me, what we do here, it's fucking essential. It's like oxygen. The world's dying of 1,000 heart attacks. We heal them up. It's a goddamn public service what we do. It's not, that's the only reason to make music.
Cool, man, and this new album is fantastic. I don't know if I told you, I do a lot of driving for my day job, so I've had this out. I've been through this album several times, man, and I'm still I'm still discovering bits.
Awesome, dude. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, and as you said, you know, I think you said on SoundCloud, you know, don't skip anything, which I fully respect.
Yeah, I'm trying in this day and age. It's hard to do that. So when I made the album, it actually was like quite a journey, because it's actually like a branch off of the album that I was working on, Evolved, which is now the album is actually called Emerge, because I figured it was too close to Evolved. So it's like and also I was like Evolved, I mentioned that right off the beginning, because it, like I said, this album is derived from that original concept. And what ended up happening was I was finding myself making songs with more vocals in it, just because I feel a lot more confident in my production skills now, that going into different areas of the music. And also I'm gonna say this a lot, freestyle for South Florida. Freestyle music was always a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like took the electro bass sound and combined it with the freestyle sound, and that's what I wanted to explore with, was doing more female vocals in particular. So as I started to kind of have that, it was just like a completely different sound than so Evolved was always, from the beginning, it was like Evolved, by the way, I wasn't trying to copy the album or anything like that. What Evolved to me is, at that time, is my first album. I really started to figure out my production, and also in life. Like, I just looked at my life at that time, and a lot of the concepts were based off of real life things that happened. Sure. So I wanted to emulate that. I didn't want to make like club party tracks or whatever. I wanted to actually make things that are like in my life, things that are happening to me now. And it just so happens that LoveHertz, the original song that I made, it actually was following that concept of not anything in particular right then at that moment, but it did follow some things that were happening in my life in the past, like and things that were possibly happening with my relationship. But it wasn't like a breakup thing or anything like that. Originally it was just kind of like putting my thoughts onto the music. Sure. It ended up being that through that journey, some of the things I picked from like old relationships, some of the things it's like actually about music. It's not even about like a relationship. So it just kind of like had a umbrella of what was happening, but it's not like some of the things in particular are actually things that I've said to people and people have said to me. And then some of the things are about my child, like some of the, like the one song, Inside My Dream. Is that what it's called? Inside My Dream.
I hope
that's what it's called.
We're in trouble if you don't know, man, because I'm Inside My Dream. It's a third track.
Inside My Dream is like shoulder popping, body rocking, never stopping. It's like about my childhood, like getting into electro music as a child, like breakdancing. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of follow something that happened in my life, but it's also just like just an encompassing thing that's about music, love, hurt. And also it's like love and hurt of the music. You know what I mean? Like, like electro music, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's, you love it, and sometimes not so much. You know what I mean? So it was like a little bit of everything. But then at the end, with my mastering guy that I've worked with for 25 years with the album, when we had the skeleton and I sent him the songs to master, and he was sending them back to me, it made a really clear idea, and what we had to do is we redid everything to the highest level for the album to go into each other, the songs that are the one song's following into the other song. I mean, it was intense, man. Like, we took this album that it was like a concept behind it, and I fully developed it into be almost like a story. Like, I would even change some of the arrangement of the song before into the next song, because it was like you could hear, okay, this is dragging on a little too long. Let's have the vocal come back in right here. So that was an extreme like thing that I've never done with any of my albums, to work with my mastering guy, and because when he's mastering it, I can hear all this stuff that I didn't hear when I'm just mixing it or whatever, you know. So and also, Andy, I didn't get sick of the music somehow, because I think it was just so fresh. And something important about this, I had so much fun working on every song, man. Every song was just like a pleasure to work on. Yeah, I've never really had that. Inside My Dream is my favorite song. Okay. I don't know if I should say that, but it is. And that song is basically explaining, like, okay, the reason that, you know, I'm 100% about my music and why I'm so in love with the music that I do and pushing the music is because when I was a child, I fell in love with that music. And that feeling that I got when I was inside the skating ring listening to all the old classics, Clear and Kraftwerk and all that stuff, that feeling, I'm just trying to give back to that. I'm just trying to give that feeling back. So, you know, my music is a tribute to that music, but also in my way, and also trying to modernize it.
And I think it's as you say about the childhood thing and the, you know, the joy of all those old school experiences, and that it's and then some of the other deeper emotional stuff, you know, it's relatable. I think that's the good thing. A lot of people are going to be able to relate to, well, I would have thought almost everything on here.
Yeah, the vocals, something to the effect of freestyle, body rocking, shoulder popping, never stopping, synthesizers meant to show you inside my dream. So that's basically a line this will be one of the few songs that I tell you what's it meant to be, but showing you inside my dream through the music. And then I'm just saying, like, come into my world and let's, you know, explore. This is showing you what I am. Yeah. And it's also like, you know, giving you something that you can kind of like lose yourself into the music and get lost with me in this like universe. Electro universe.
This is Bryce Kelly, and you're listening to Bass Agenda.
Don't think you could rearrange the tracks and it make the same amount of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You couldn't switch track 4 and 5. You couldn't switch track 3 and 1. There's a real... I can see what you're saying. It comes across, man. There is a definite thought process, and I know people use this word journey about music, and it's so fucking cliche, man.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a better word, man. It's definitely there. So
You're right.
what you're saying is so you've drawn on life experiences from life across from childhood right to now, and you've pieced it together in a way that takes people on that ride.
What songs do what, I'm gonna leave to the listener, but at the end there is a possibility of us turning this into a movie, and the storyline of each song is very very targeted and very like it follows a story. Okay, this part is they're thinking about their relationship, and the person saying, do you remember this at this time of our relationship? Do you remember this? Do you remember the photos on the wall, you know, before we were just pictures on a telephone, on a cell phone, you know, and then it's going all the way through. And yes, it did end up being a story, and it actually follows a timeline too. It's not just like random songs thrown together. So that's why you're hearing. But the thing is, Andy, that's crazy. I didn't make the songs like that. I didn't make the songs like, okay, I'm gonna do this one. Now it's gonna be this thing. Some of them I kind of made it into that thing, you know.
That's what I was going to ask you, man. When you were putting this together, did you sort of find there was a gap and have to make a track to fit that, or did it all come together fairly kind of naturally?
There is one song that I made in Spain.
Okay.
And for now, I'm not going to say it's actually like a very well-known producer that I made the song at their studio, because that was when I found out the conclusion to the story. And it's not the last song either. I'll just throw that hint into there.
Okay, man.
It was a part of it that I was like a foreshadowing of things that were going to be. It was a foreshadowing thing in the album of when I actually looked at it in the story of things that were going to happen in the end. In the middle, there's a foreshadowing to let you know what the result is.
Okay. Okay, man. Cryptic.
So, yeah.
I love it.
But Andy, this is the most fun I've ever had producing a series of songs together. I really got to say that. Part of the reason is that I started making music again a few years ago, and when I took a little pause from Exzakt, when I came back, I said the number one thing for me to come back is I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do things that I want to do. I'm gonna try some new things with throwing in the freestyle, throwing in the girl vocals, because that's like not something you really have in electro. It's not commonplace to have female vocals in an electro song, or even have like a positive message in it, or you're talking about love, you know. And at the end of the day, this is an electro love album. At the end of the day, this is an electro love album. It has some ups, it has some downs, just like real love. And but man, I just had a great time creatively. I just really enjoyed this album. I enjoyed every aspect of it, even the end, the tedious part of going through and doing the mastering, everything.
Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, that's really nice to hear, man, because it's obviously a quite deep experience. Not to say that you've not put something like that into your past stuff, but there's a lot more. It feels richer. It feels richer somehow, and I think the vocals really. I'm a big fan of vocals in.
Okay, great.
In electronic music, I'd also say I've heard a lot of electronic music where the vocals completely fucking ruins it.
Yeah.
And you've not done that once, man, which is incredible.
I really appreciate that.
And you're listening to Bass Agenda.
what is it that's changed, do you think, that's made this one so much more enjoyable? Is it purely just the output, or is it, because it sounds like you've enjoyed the whole process, has it just been a kind of a development in yourself personally, or
both? It's been that you know, the last few years of my life, I've gotten this kind of attitude that older and wiser. I've tried to definitely improve myself in relationships with friends, people in the music industry, across the board, and better myself. But also musically, when I sit down to produce now, it's just like I'm not really caught up on anything. I don't get like writer's block. It's like, you know, some of these songs, I made like 3 of these songs in a weekend. It was a matter of developing the songs, but I have a lot of songs that aren't on the album that are tracks that are going to be singles. And so, but yeah, cool. The difference is the confidence that I have in my production, as far as like what I want to accomplish with my production, what I enjoy. So many different influences on this album, but one of the main influences on this, and you'll be interested to hear this because it's something that I've been saying to people, but if you're familiar with the old label Electrolux from Frankfurt, Germany, Electrolux was always like a very electro-ish, down-tempo, very atmospheric, very dubby label. And I always listened to that music, and I always thought to myself, man, imagine if you combine this music with like electro beats and bass, and that's like the dubby kind of atmospheric, like really how the music just kind of like goes into different areas. It's a really heavy influence from that label of music that I never really foresaw myself being able to produce, just because of the complicated layers and everything like that. And then, like I said, the freestyle aspect of it, of, you know, like when I'm like chilling or you're like hanging with your friends and you're having a few drinks, or, you know, and somebody puts on a freestyle song, or if you're at the club and you hear a freestyle song, for me, I'm like, hell yeah, because it's like, it was fun. Reminds me of my childhood, you know. It was like got the skating ring and everything like that. So like,
it's just feel good music, man.
I didn't want to do it to the point where it sounds like a freestyle song. Like, oh, okay, this is like a remake of some old school, you know, you'd copy in the pattern, you'd have the bass line come in, and then it's like a happy melody, and then, hey girl, you know, the singing vocal. I wanted to make it like a freestyle vibe, but not like copy the freestyle traditional production of it. I would say that and overall, the reason this album is different is because of the place that I'm at as a person, and the growth that I've experienced over the years, and also the growth as a producer have kind of like met at this point.
So you were saying about freestyle and not copying production, so I guess that's kind of talking about the song structure in a way, isn't it? But I mean, these are songs in many ways. And I know there's a fine line between a song and a track, but how did that come about, man? I mean, because I can guess some of your earlier stuff, maybe you were kind of came out of experimentation and, you know, trying to make the biggest bang kind of thing. But where does this stuff come from, man? Because that's obviously, I'm assuming, is there a slightly different process involved?
I can tell you this. It's kind of like it's gonna sound weird because it's kind of like I didn't make these tracks for the club, but I did make these tracks for DJs. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
remember, if you're playing a song in the club, a lot of times nowadays you're playing bangers, you're trying to blah blah blah. But if you're a DJ from the old school, you used to like to have these records where you can do a lot of different stuff with it. Like, it has like a real long journey and the intro. Like, I would use, for an example, Underground Resistance. These records were just like almost like a jam, you know, that would be like, and it would be like, you would have a sequence that you would think in the modern way it would like go into something else, but it just keeps going. And for me, that's what I did it off of. I did it off of vibe, but I also made sure that I wasn't like trying to cut something into something because I'm thinking it's getting boring or something, or because I have to make it for somebody playing it in a club, but I'm also following a structure that if you're DJing the music, you still have like some meat on the bone. So it's made for vinyl, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. These songs are made for a DJ playing vinyl. That's what I foresaw this entire time. I'm thinking of this being put onto a record and those songs being on a record. And that's what you're asking, kind of like when I was very first making music, everything was about, I need to be on vinyl. I need to be putting my music out on vinyl. Over the years, you got it to where I'm going to make this banger and I want the dance floor to get filled and people going crazy, you know? And but I want to be honest with you when I say Exzakt has always been, to me, the music has always given you that you're either going to listen to it in your car, you're either going to listen to it at your house chilling, but you can also play it in a club and you're going to move your ass. So like I try to always have that fine line with Exzakt. And so with these tracks, I tried to always make it like a solid beat and give you to where you can dance to it, but you can also think and lose yourself into the music as well.
How did you choose vocalists, man? Because I better clarify how many there are on here. One female or one female vocalist?
So it's a range of things. So, some of the songs are specifically written by me, the lyrics, even the female songs. Sure. Specifically written for a particular situation, like written to somebody. There's other ones where I found a female vocalist that already had some content that actually fit what I was trying to say in it. And then there's 3 or 4 songs where I'm doing the vocoder. 3 of them, All About Me, Erase the Pain, and Lift Me Up. All those are vocals by me. Now I wanted to sprinkle that in there. Traditionally, like, some of the Exzakt stuff has like a very clear Exzakt vocal in it, and I wanted to put that in there.
I definitely recognize that on some
I wanted to give a little vibe of that, but I didn't want it to take it over. I wanted to almost I almost looked at it this as like special appearances, but I don't have the money to go hire you know what I mean? I go hire whoever, singer or whatever. So I was kind of looking at it like as a producer of, using things of other artists and putting it in there and making it work. So I wanted to use different sources and different things, and some of the people, I hired them on different websites, and then we did the vocals, did multiple takes. I added stuff, took some stuff out. So it's a multiple. The vocals are from many different sources.
This is Dave Clark, and you're listening to Bass Agenda.
There is one track I would like to talk about if you're cool, and that's mainly because I think it's probably in a way it's probably the furthest away from what you're stereotypically known for, and that's Tell Me More.
Okay.
It's incredibly. I mean, the vocal was incredible, like really fragile feel about it. But also, I mean, you were saying earlier about that Electro Deluxe, kind of that dubby thing. I mean, that's really strong in this. It's an interesting track, man. I was just curious to get your kind of thoughts on the process or where that came from, or.
Man, you knew what song to ask me about to make me as emotional as possible. That's for sure.
Oh shit. Okay.
But in a good way. You know what? It's okay. It's okay.
It's a very deep track, man.
So Tell Me More. I will actually. This was like meant to be one of the more mysterious songs on the album. But since you asked, and since it moves you to ask me, and it's gonna move me to tell you, tell me more when you're really in a relationship and you're at the deepest part of the relationship and you actually are sharing things with your partner that you never shared in a way that you're healing yourself. where you are actually using your mate as a therapist in a way.
Yeah,
and that's what that song is about. Like, we've gotten to this point and we're this close, and I want you to tell me more, and I'm gonna tell you more, and I'm gonna be able to get this off of my shoulders and almost be as like a therapy session of me being able to say something that I would never trust anybody to be able to say these things. And it's also again, as we talk about these things, it's something that derived from a personal experience with me, but I'm also trying to make it like I'm thinking of the listener also, to say, okay, have you ever been in a relationship so deep that you actually told somebody and it made it to where you could actually heal yourself from that thing that happened to you, or whatever. So that's what that song is about. And it's that song is probably the like, you know, the song that is the most like getting the deepest of any of the songs on the album. It goes deep.
Sure does, man. Yeah. I mean, I was listening to it again, listening to the album, and there's several parts in the album leading up to that track where I'm like, oh wow, that bit's really cool, and that bit's really cool. But when that track almost from the start really kicked in, I was like, there was a definite, I'm trying to think how to explain this now. There was a definite switch, and it's like my attention was there from it really sucked me in, man. Really, really cool. I think it's amazing, and that the vocal is it really gets into you, man. It really does. Yeah, that vocal definitely that vocal in that song, I went through a lot of changes, by the way, Andy. Like it went through a very long process. That's the one song I would say that I didn't get stuck on it, but it got to the point where I was pushing and pushing and pushing. And usually on the songs on here, I would get it into a little thing, push, and I'd be done. That one, it took a long time. I didn't get it till the very end, and at the very, very end, I was happy with it. And what it ended up being with that was that I had to strip away, because like if you listen to the song, it starts with all these like really cool parts, and it's like very like going like this certain direction. I had to go in the middle, and the vocal and the piano just had to like breathe. And then also so you could hear it more. And it's also a song that it's also a song that I really wanted to break out of like the traditional sound of electro music, and I wanted to make it almost like it was like a song that's like a composition or like you know, a lot more layers, and also more like musical, and also like to people that are into, you know, certain types of music where it's like deep, you know, very vocal music, that it's kind of like in that electro song, like in the middle of it. But it still makes sense. It does.
That was the hard part for it to make sense.
Yeah. And I think that's the track that most made me appreciate that you'd come out of the comfort zone, as it were.
This is Heidi Sabertooth, and you are listening to Bass Agenda.
Really concentrate on the drums like I usually do. So I was concentrating on the music. Now what I did go back and do is I beefed everything up on the back side. I usually beef everything up right from the very beginning. When I do an Exzakt track, it's like I gotta have a beat that you can listen to for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like Exzakt. Like when I sit down, my beat and my percussion, I want to be able to. We always used to call it a bonus beat. It could be just like a bonus beat playing for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I write the music around it, but not this one. I wrote all the music first, and then I went back and I beefed everything up. But there's things I did on purpose, Andy. Like some of the songs, the drums are not like as predominant as before. I would actually bring it down a little bit as far as like it's not so front, and then like. Some of the snares, because like the way I looked at it was always meant to be an album to have 10 minutes of just like like the snare, just like my songs are usually the snare's very predominant, but I actually had it to where some of the snares I didn't go like full blast with it. So I kind of like tried to find that happy medium where the beat is very a lot of energy with it, but it didn't like take the song over.
Yeah, I get you. And I guess some of the building up that goes on in these tracks is a bit more subtle. Do you know what I mean? It's like with some of the club stuff, you've got like a real fucking gear change, whereas this is a little bit more, more gentle in a way, I suppose.
You say it's all about me. I try to get you to see what I'm trying to be. I can only be me. You say it's all about me. I try to get you to see what I'm trying to be. I can only be me. You say it's all about me. I try to get you to see what I'm trying to be. I can only be me.
Hallo, ich bin Helena Hauf und ihr hört Bass Agenda Radio.
You say it's all about
I made myself as vulnerable as humanly possible on this album, in the sense that I basically took everything that was going on in my life at different times and things that I felt from the past and stuff like that, and I just put it all on the line. And the reason for that, Andy, is because I want to make that connection with people. I want to make that connection with people and say, hey, have you ever felt like this? Okay, well, I feel like this. Or in good and bad. Like, have you ever felt, like this about electro music and breakdance and pop and locking, things like that. And then there was situations where, sometimes it's you're going through something hard and you want to basically, but at the end, to me, it's like all in a positive. It's all positive at the end. That's what I try to make the music like uplifting. And there's moments where it goes deep and stuff like that. But to me, I try to make this album like as a positive thing to people. That's saying, even if you have gone through this dark thing, you're gonna make it at the end. You're gonna get through the other side, and everything's gonna be good. That's the music part of that. I'm trying to like convey that.
No, you've done it, man. For me, anyway, I can definitely see that. I can feel it as I listen. That's really cool. The only thing I think that I didn't pick up on it, and this may just be down to my own dysfunctional personality, but I didn't get any sense of kind of much anger in there.
Yeah. No.
Which was interesting, considering some of the subject matter. That was interesting, man. Was that a conscious thing or just?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to give it away.
Sure.
But in my personal situation, that a lot of this is kind of derived from, I handled the personal situation the same way. I didn't those things from, like, a lot of times with love, you kind of like have these moments where all the good things turn into the opposite, and there's anger towards the other person or bitterness and stuff like that. And I just didn't do that. I didn't let those emotions take control of me. So you're right, 100%. None of this is meant to be thrown in anybody's face or anything like that. And there's even songs that where I'm actually giving the other side of the story too. Like maybe I am. Maybe some of these things are right about me, No,
I get that actually. Yeah. No, it's very honest, man. I respect that. That can't have been easy. How do you feel about it from one of the difficult things I think when I speak to people like yourself or Anthony Rota or people who really made a massive impact in the early days and have continued, is that people pigeonhole you, and when they hear your name, they think of certain tracks and certain things. And obviously this is you know, you talk about making yourself vulnerable while you make the music, but did you feel you were taking a risk on the sort of almost on the commercial front?
Yeah, 100%.
You must have
I could lie to you right now and say no.
And I know you were lying though.
but at the same time, I feel I've been doing electro music for 25 years. Yeah. So I've just dated myself, but it's the truth. I feel like I've given, myself to the music. And if I gain new fans because I've done music that's a little bit more broad, and if I keep the fans from that, or if I lose fans from that, I always look at it like this. I'm one of the people that embraces my old music. Like, I don't ever, if somebody says they like one of my old tracks, I don't ever say, well, I think it's crap because I made it 1,000 years ago. No. I don't ever look at it. If somebody says that they like one of my old tracks, I'm with them. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm encouraging that. I'm not saying like, oh, that was mixed down like crap or something. I mean, maybe after a couple drinks at afters, I'll say something like that or whatever. But for the most part, if I meet somebody and they're touched by my music, I accept that and I embrace that. And I'll also have it to where I'm gonna embrace whatever happens from this. I am, looking at this as, to me, and I've always done this when some people say I like your older stuff. Sometimes I get like defensive and say, well, this is my older stuff. But I really do look at this as like, I would even say that this music is closer to my original Music is the Drug and Clarity and all that stuff than some of the stuff in the middle that I made, honestly, because the connection is the vulnerability of it and also the fun and the not having a care about, well, I mean, on the outside, I'm doing things without the worry that somebody's going to judge what I'm doing, because that's how I started. Because you know what I mean? I didn't have any kind of like constraints on me, because no one knew who I was and nobody had heard my music, and I was just making music and having fun. Well, here we are. Yeah. The same exact thing, having fun. And if you're a person that likes freestyle music and likes electro bass and likes German electro that's deep, then maybe you'll find something in this. I'm confident that there's enough meat on the bones for an old Exzakt fan that if you listen to this and give it a chance, you'll enjoy it. And if not, if you just like my old stuff, that's cool too.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. I would hope so. I don't think you've not gone so far. It's not like you've just come out with a psychedelic rock album or anything. You're still in the same. You're still in
like
the same world, man.
Like an album without one beat on it or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, fucking 15 flute tracks or something like that. You're not. It's not a complete departure. So I would hope people would be patient and respectful enough with it, man. I was
dude, by the way, real quick, dude, this interview has been I'm having a great time, dude. You've had some great questions, and I can tell you like definitely fucking listen to this album, dude, and I really appreciate that. This is exactly like the kind of thing that I was like hoping for, not to not be asked like the softball questions and stuff like that.
Oh, cool, man. No, thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the point in doing this if you're not going to listen to the music. And I've spoken to people. I always remember, I mean, it sounds fucking obvious, really, but I remember I interviewed, it was Adult, for the Detroit guys.
Love them.
Yeah, man, one of my favorites. And I was interviewing them, and they said halfway through the interview, they said, you wouldn't believe how many people speak to us who clearly have no idea who we are, what the music's actually about or what it's like. I was just like, fuck it, that's an insult, man. So yeah, no, I generally try and at least hear things at least once. But with the album, man, it's been on repeat. It's really cool. But
I appreciate that you're open-minded about the electro music too. Real quick, I really appreciate about you.
I get bored quite easily, and the idea of putting together a show every month where I interview somebody who makes 135 BPM bangers, and that, you know, every single episode, that just drives me. I couldn't do it for as long as I've done it, man. It drives me.
All right, cool, man. I'm glad I was able to give you a little variety.
So yeah, man. And this, when you contacted me a little while back now, saying about the album, and you said it was a departure, I was like, well, that was the bit that actually got my attention. Good. You know, because we've done your early influences and all that on the other episodes. So yeah, man, it's it's a real pleasure, man. I'm enjoying it too. The question I skipped earlier, which is probably worth going back to, was about, again, going back to vocals, because I'm curious as to how that fits. Do you start with a vocal and then build a track around it? Is it kind of an add-on at the end, or how does it? Where in the mix does it come as far as the process of putting a track together for you? Maybe it's different for every
I would
track.
say, for this album, definitely started with like the vocals, like for most tracks, right? And then I built the songs around that, because you know, since I do have so many different sources of the vocals, that when I was you know, collecting the different artists that I was going to work with and different websites, I definitely, like, Nothing Wrong was like, I did the vocal and then built everything around it. Tell Me More was the same thing. That was something that it was like kind of already there as far as like the song, and then I just like kind of built everything around it. And then the song that you said that you liked, Don't Know How to Forget, that was totally that song was totally, it was the other way around. I kind of like was making the song, and then we built the vocal around it.
Okay.
The vocals where it's me, again, that was like building the beat, getting the melody, and then kind of vibe into it. So yeah, a lot of different ways of doing it, but I would say like the vocals were definitely in the forefront, and everything was worked around that to build the vibe to match the vocals.
Is a message from Detroit.
This is Adult.
And you are listening to Bass Agenda.
So how did, this is a question this is something that always fascinates me, regardless of what kind of music it is almost, but how do you know when something's finished? Do you know what I mean? How do you know when you say, right, okay, I'm going to step away from that now, that's as good as I can get it, that's a wrap kind of thing?
Yeah, so when I started producing again, like full-time 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
The thing that I've like really gotten to where when I'm producing music, a lot of times that first initial creation part, like when you're first doing the track, like I pretty much know which direction I'm going and where I want it to go, like from the very beginning. And sometimes those things will morph, but I'm very decisive of like, okay, if the sound is in the song, the sound is supposed to be there.
Okay. Yeah.
And some songs will take like a process of doing it like 2 or 3 more times. But I really do not spend that much time on music anymore, as far as like one track like I used to.
Right.
It's a matter of knowing that everything that I have there is supposed to be there, and then it making sense. And also having, to me, something that interests me enough that like by the end of making the song, I'm still like enjoying my own music and not making it be tedious. And I think that breaks down to not trying to make music for the listener, but you're making music for yourself. So if you're making music for yourself and you're able to, you know, make yourself enjoy it, you know, and then you keep the artistic part in the song, I mean, then you can kind of like, it's like a painting, you know. Once you kind of like get there, you can edit a couple things, but you can't erase the whole right part of the painting, you know. So now it's like it's a natural fluid thing. Like if I'm going from this part and then I'm drawing this and painting this, that okay. And you know what? Maybe this part of the painting is not the best or whatever, but it's a part of it, and I'm gonna go with it. You know, I'm gonna work with that. And another thing about that is too, like I'll abandon something, like if it's not working to me and I kind of like the idea 1 second and then the next second I don't. Then there's times though where I will push that I know something is legit and I'm pushing it. I'll push for hours. Like sometimes when people collaborate with me, they're just sitting there like, dude, what are you doing? I've been listening to this for 5 hours. Like I'm trying to get that thing, you know, just that's where Exzakt comes from. I'm like, I'm trying to get that one part and I know it's there. I just got to like shine it up a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of it sounds like it's kind of an instinct, I guess.
Yeah. That's the one thing I've trained myself of doing this for such a long time. Sure. I've trained myself to trust my instincts. I think that's a great thing that you just said. That you hit the nail on the head right there.
Looking at it from a point of view of the gear and the software or whatever that you work with, did you bring a few more toys into the room for this one? Some new stuff, some different stuff?
Yeah, I did actually make some parts in other people's studios. Holographic, that's on my label. That used to be Ghost in the Machine.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
He's got a crazy studio, which we're going to be broadcasting from this coming Wednesday. But he's got a crazy studio, and I sampled some of his stuff. I did actually have some synthesizers and stuff that I brought into the fray. One of the things that was kind of important to me when I first started the umbrella project that LoveHertz has derived from, which I said before is evolved with a D. I actually brought in Virus Indigo, which is in the lineage of the Virus KB, which Virus KB was originally all the sounds that you hear from Music is the Drug and Sleeping with the Enemy and Subsonic Bass and all that stuff.
Wow.
Comes from the Virus. So I actually got the Indigo to kind of like get that same like sound, and it does appear on here. But at the end, this was a lot of experimentation, and the sources were from many different things, and then they all just came together and just started to work together really nicely. But yeah, it's a mixture of sample sources and also from some synthesizers from different aspects. And then, like, of course, I said the one song that it'll be revealed at some point, the final song. It wasn't made in a full studio in Barcelona, Spain.
Cool.
That was like all analog gear.
Yeah.
Including the vocoder is actually.
I keep thinking.
One hint.
The name Dark Vector keeps coming to mind, but I don't know whether that's. You won't be.
Dark Vector. Ivan is awesome guy. I've known Ivan from Electro Alliance from 2000 or something like that, and love his music. Sweet, and met him at Ambra Festival in Barcelona, which is like one of the most incredible. They had Umwelt, Exzakt, computers, or what is it, Electro City, what's the guys, anyways, Dark Vector played live. It was a crazy party, and they support Electro to the highest level. And finally met Ivan for the first time in person after knowing him for 25 years, and he could not be any of a cooler guy.
Nice, man.
Took care of me, always made sure. He was always messaging me, are you okay, you need anything, come over here and meet these people, let's have some drinks. Like
nice, man. Perfect.
Kind of like when I met the Bass Agenda squad for Whip It in Amsterdam.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I wish I hadn't missed that one. Unfortunately, I was in a bit of a situation myself then.
Going through your own LoveHertz album.
Yeah, man. Jesus. Do you know what? I think that's probably why some of this album speaks to me. Because
I actually thought about that, man. When I first sent you the album, I was gonna say like something about that. I actually thought about that when I sent it to you.
Oh wow, that's interesting, man. Yeah, no, it's genuinely. I think you have to. I mean, I think you have to have experienced certain things to fully appreciate music that draws on life experience and pain and positive emotion. You know, you need that. I think the older and wiser thing you said earlier really kind of hits home for me. I think you can really appreciate that on this. Looking down the line a bit further, are we going to be seeing any remixes or anything like that, or are you going to keep this completely, its own thing, or what?
For now, I don't have any plans for that. Actually, I'm working on my next album already, Emerge.
Yeah.
So this is submitted. Side note, this is an interesting development that's happened ever since for the last few years. I actually did all the artwork for the album. So in the USB, there's 2 USBs, there's a CD, there's vinyl records and a digital. All of the artwork for all the different formats are all different. Each piece is a different piece than the other, which is
I've seen a couple of variations.
Probably a huge marketing mistake. I don't know. I always think of They weren't different covers, but Run DMC Raising Hell, when it came out, they had like 4 different color schemes, and I bought all the different color schemes, and I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
This is not like that, but basically, the artwork has like a certain feel or vibe to it, and it's telling a story, the artwork. So I wanted to tell a story with the different pieces from the different formats. So
I get you.
I've really enjoyed doing the artwork to this too, to the point that, like, in the past I've had some amazing artists that I've worked with Monotone and Exzakt.
Yeah, sometimes
they nail it and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I have like an idea in my head. With this, I feel like I'm really painting a picture with the artwork. So now I'm moving on to the artwork process of it, finalizing everything. But yeah, musically, I'm working on Emerge.
Yeah, sure.
Which is the other Exzakt album that is, like, I would say 80% done.
Cool. Yeah. I know you messaged me the other day to say you were on the home straight kind of thing. What? So, I mean, obviously we don't want to jump too far ahead, but I mean, as far as Emerge is concerned, is that going to be a different vibe to this?
Yes.
Presumably it is, otherwise you wouldn't have split it up.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, cool.
Emerge is like, I would say it's a tribute to electro music.
Okay.
In the sense that it doesn't sound traditional, but all the songs are very electro. Like from my standpoint of what electro music is, as far as like the content of the lyrics, and also like the mentality of like, I'm a firm believer in that electro music needs to grow, and electro music needs to take a step. I love old school sounding electro music. But for me personally, as a producer, I feel like I need to push the boundaries as much as possible, but not have it to where it's like outside of the realm of what electro music really is. So the next album is definitely way different than this one. The sound of it, and it's just, to me, if you love electro music, you're gonna love this album.
You mentioned lyrics again there, so again some vocal type stuff going on there too.
Yeah, but we're kind of like going into the, like, the sci-fi, artificial intelligence, but also very human things, and also sounds and things that aren't usually in the music. I'm definitely experimenting with it, but everything has that, the exact sound in it.
So this is the last track of the album LoveHertz by Exzakt. A track called Erase the Pain. Seriously good album. It really is one of those projects where you got to listen to it from start to finish uninterrupted. And I highly recommend you guys go and get yourselves a copy. When it comes out, it's going to be available on CD, USB and on vinyl. And the artwork and general presentation of the thing is on an equal par with the quality of the music as well. Best way to keep an eye on what Larry's up to is to head over to his link tree, which is linktr.ee/exzakt. That's Exzakt spelled EXZAKT. Just about everything you need to find on there. Past, present and future stuff. Love and thanks out to Larry. All the best for the album, mate. Got a feeling you won't have any problems shifting a few of them. Gonna let this track ride out and then we're gonna get into that guest mix from DJ Tygre from San Francisco. Really cool mix, really cool guy. Recommend you check out his Soundcloud page after you've heard this one. Soundcloud.com/DJ Tygre, which is TYGRE. Every mix he does has a theme or a story attached to it. Some real nice, clever stuff there. Great tunes, great selections, and very nicely put together as well. That's coming up.
Erase the pain. Erase the pain. Erase the pain. Erase the pain. Erase the pain.
Bass Agenda Guest Mix. Guest Mix. Guest Mix. Guest Mix. Guest Mix.
is Anthony Rother, and you are listening to Bass Agenda.
Detroit's filthiest, and you're listening to the #1 underground bass agenda.
That man you never see. Now you may be into bass. I'm slamming techno all in your face. See, I'm from planet Detroit, where techno never comes up short. The boys here create sound. All my people getting down. Some may call them techno freaks, but we're the men you never see. We're the men you never see. The men you never see. We're the men you never see. The men you never see. We're the men you never see. We're the men you never see. We're the men you never see. The men you never see. We're the men you never see. The men you never see. Worldwide.
This is Black Tony, and you're listening to Bass Agenda. Get to it.
Great mix from DJ Tygre. Love and thanks out to him for putting that together for us. Love and thanks out again to Exzakt for giving us an early look at his fantastic new album coming out soon, LoveHertz. As always, the show will be up on Patreon over the weekend. Exclusive early access for people supporting Bass Agenda on there. It'll be up on Soundcloud at some point next week as well. You can also find Bass Agenda on Spotify and Amazon Music now, which it wasn't before. I'll be back next month with a new show for you, but don't forget, second episode of the new podcast from Bass Agenda called Space Lab, presented by Billy Proctor and Bass Junkie. 2 weeks time, fantastic interview and a ton of great music with the Egyptian Lover. Something to look forward to. Keep an eye on the socials for news on that one. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Get to it. Get